Hi everybody, this is Father Warner D'Souza. We're looking at the text today of Luke chapter 14 verses 25 to 33. First, let us locate this text a bit. Jesus is in the home of a Pharisee who is the leader of the community, chapter 14 verse 1. He is heading to Jerusalem. The cross is before him. The crowds think that Jesus is heading to an empire. That is why discipleship must and can only be seen in the light of the cross. It is the Sabbath and they wanted to trap Jesus, and he heals the man with dropsy. The Lord is predictable in his compassion for others, and the Pharisees knew that he would heal the man. In chapter 14 verse 25, we are told that large crowds are following him. And so his address on discipleship is to thousands and by extension to us. They were impressed with his miracles. For others, he sounded like some kind of a revolutionary leader. Some liked him for his storytelling abilities or the way he tackled his opponents. Others like him for the fact that he fed them or for his style of preaching. So in his life, Jesus attracted many fans. The question is, did they become followers? And even more, did they become disciples? You see, in our culture, we want to see multitudes in our church programs. Jesus does not use gimmicks for people to come. In fact, he challenged people. He did not use the methodology of the world to draw people to himself. In this context, what he does next is absolutely mind-boggling. Most of us would be delighted to have large crowds following us. Jesus thins the crowd. He's not giddy with popularity, for he knows that not everyone who is with him is there for the right reasons. So he places the challenge of discipleship before them, because not everyone who follows Jesus is a disciple. Jesus wants people who are faithful to be faithful to him and not be fascinated by him. As a professor once said, not everyone who attends my lectures is my student. There is a difference between a follower and a disciple. Mahatma Gandhi was a follower of Christ's teachings and was inspired by them. But then again, he followed many other beliefs and religious practices. A disciple, however, is single-minded. He has only one Lord and one Master. Jesus had many followers. Only a few chose discipleship. I dare say that there are many Christian followers of Jesus who are baptized, but few disciples within the church. The statements of Jesus are not popular. They are true, but they are not popular. So Jesus looks at a disciple in relation to other people in verse 26. Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brother and sister, even life itself, cannot be my disciple. In relation to oneself, as in verse 27, Jesus says, whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. 3 times Jesus will demand discipleship. Therefore, discipleship is demanding. The 3 demands of discipleship will be punctuated by 2 examples of a tower being built and a king who is going into battle. The 3 demands of discipleship are seen in verse 26, 27, and in verse 33. The first demand is in verse 26. Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brother and sister, yes, and even life itself, cannot be my disciple. Note the word cannot. This really sounds unbelievable, because in Luke, in chapter 10, verse 27, Jesus said, love your neighbor. And in chapter 18, verse 20, he will say, love your father and mother. So why is Jesus confusing us with contradictory teachings? Or is he? You see, Jesus is not asking us to hate our relations literally. This is a hyperbolic way of saying love less. Miseo in Greek translates as love less, not hate. This was also the way of speaking in Middle Eastern cultures and among Middle Eastern people. So you see in Genesis chapter 29 verse 30, Jacob has two wives, Rachel and Leah. He loves one more and loves the other less. Or, for that matter, God says, I have loved Jacob and I have hated Esau, implying that Esau is loved less. Jesus is not asking us to hate our families. He is asking us to love him more. The second demand is seen in verse 27. Whoever does not carry the cross cannot be my disciple. Jesus goes to the heart of the matter. His followers would be shocked by the saying, for crosses were an instrument of shame at the time of Jesus. Today we wear the cross around our neck as a piece of jewelry, but in those days it was nothing but an instrument of shame. It was used most effectively by the Romans to torture, shame, and intimidate people. They were, as some call them, the billboards of the ancient world. Today we trivialize the cross. What are the crosses we wear today? Difficult spouses, poor formators, bad jobs, illness. In a way, we have trivialized the cross. Therefore, Jesus says, love me even more than your life. This is the cross of his teachings. The third demand is give up your possessions. So, therefore, none of you can be my disciples if you do not give up your possessions. The question we need to ask is, do we own things or do they own us? This is the key. Jesus is not calling us to asceticism as much as he's calling us to be detached to things so that we may be attached to him. I do hope you liked today's teaching, and if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so and share today's teaching on discipleship with your friends and family. In that way, you become an evangelizer for Jesus. God bless you.